Speaking of justice being done, our man Najib, former Prime Minister Najib Razak, who's currently still in trial. Well, I mean, he's not supposed to be in trial, actually. He's already found guilty, but still in trial, apparently. And as is trying to, introduce new evidence in order to help him prove himself innocent. Well, whether or not that's capable can be done doesn't seem like it, because the prosecution doesn't seem to want to accept these new evidence brought upon by Najib and his defense team. Prosecution rubbishes Najib's bid to introduce fresh evidence. The prosecution today rubbished Dato Sri Najib Razak arguments that he needed to introduce new evidence in a bid to clear his name over the SRC international conviction, describing as the latest dubious attempt to derail the progress and conclusion of the case. Lead prosecutor Dato V. Sitambaram said Najib had most outrageously resorted to declare his trial as null and void based on mere conjecture and false allegations against trial judge Dr. Muhammad Naslan Muhammad Ghazali. The senior lawyer dissected Najib's argument point by point, especially on allegations that Naslan had been biased and was in conflict of interest due to his previous employment as Group General Counsel and Company Secretary of Maybank, which is one of the big banks in Malaysia. He said it was incredible for Najib to claim ignorance of this fact, especially before and during the SRC trial, in view of the publicity given to Justice Naslan's role in Maybank. Justice Naslan's role in Maybank can be seen even from Najib's own exhibits, which were available to him before and during the SRC trial, he said. See, now that's what he was trying to do. I feel like he was trying to keep that as like a silver bullet, as a new way to ensure that he can introduce this as new evidence. But thankfully, prosecution are a bit smarter than that. So Sita Baram added that it was also imperative to note that SRC was never a customer of Maybank, nor had SRC taken any loan from Maybank to suggest any possible conflict of interest with Justice Naslan. He added there was also no clarity to what the 5 witnesses, which Najib intended to call, provide fresh evidence, would say or prove in relation to the myriad of issues raised by him in his application. There is actually no fresh or additional evidence to be admitted, as the applicant Najib and his defense team had in their possession all evidence that they now seek to introduce as additional or fresh evidence, he said in the prosecution written and also oral submission. On Najib's claim that he received documents from anonymous sources which contained evidence related to his SRC case, Sitambaram said this was nothing more than hearsay based on hearsay. The claims of recent discovery and allegation of conflict of interest and suppression of evidence by Najib have no credibility at all. The application is flawed and cannot be taken to an application for fresh or additional evidence, as the evidence was in the possession of the applicant and it has also been shown to be irrelevant. Sheesh! My man laying the smackdown on Najib. Jeez! Oh my God. Najib, Jibby, can't catch a break. All the prosecution is like, yo, you want a new evidence? Nah, not on that watch. Not on that watch, bro. Earlier, Najib's lead counsel started the day to clear his client's name by arguing that the federal court should allow him to introduce fresh evidence in the former Prime Minister's defense. Senior counsel Hisham Tepotek spent about 2.5 hours submitting why the admission of this new evidence was necessary to prevent any miscarriage of justice. His argument were centered on the alleged conflict of interest involving Justice Naslan, especially on his failure to disclose his previous role as Maybank Group General Counsel and Company Secretary between 2006 and 2015. He argued that facts like Maybank's engagement as 1MDB strategic advisor were not supplied to defense at the time of the trial. Hisham said his client was unaware of the judge's involvement in the establishment of 1MDB subsidiary SR International and the loan extended to the company member. Okay, I doubt it. I'm sure they did their due diligence and research everyone on the stand in the prosecution team, the judges, to make sure that they can find any loopholes against it. To tell me that they didn't realize that in the first place, nah, bro, that's cap. Okay, that he's definitely lying on that shit. Hisham said his client, Najib has claimed that he was only alerted to Naslan's alleged conflict on May 9th and July 7th this year after he received several documents which were sent to him anonymously. Oh, it just so happened to start this just so conveniently right now. Najib was convicted by Nasrallah on July 28, 2020 on 7 charges of abuse of power and misappropriation of 42 million ringgit of SRC international funds. He was sentenced to 12 years jail and fined 210 million ringgit, and this was reaffirmed by the Court of Appeal on December last year. He has still not done his sentence and still has not paid. So, yeah, what's up with that? He's not making a final attempt to overturn the ruling against him at the federal court. The appeal is being heard before a 5-member bench comprising Chief Justice Tun Tengku Maimun Wan Man, Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak Tan Sri Abang Iskandar Abang Hashim, and Federal Court Judges Datuk Nalini Manatan, Datuk Mary Lim Tiam Swan, and Datuk Muhammad Zaibidin Muhammad Dia. Hisham will apply to term submission tomorrow. Well, it doesn't seem like it's getting through because I feel like, we'll get on to the next news. The next news in regarding to my man Najib trying to do his best to delay the inevitable because my man Najib and his team are asking for extension, 3 to 4 months extension. Najib Raza, lawyer, have requested federal court to postpone his SRC international appeal for 3 to 4 months, stressing that the new defense team only took over the case less than 1 month ago. Lead counsel Hisham Potai told the court that his team was appointed on July 21st and were given voluminous appeal records, adding they would need sufficient time to prepare and argue their case. I request for time to argue the main appeal, said Hisham, affirming that this request for time was made in good faith. He said the SRC appeal is no ordinary case and there are strong points of law to argue at the main appeal. If the court allows me 3 to 4 months, this means that the appeal will be heard 1 year after the Court of Appeal decision, which is not too long in current circumstances, he said. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you continue to use that as a clutch to postpone the trial, then my man Najib can just after 3 to 4 months, this guy's not really so good. I'm going to change to a new team and then let's add another 3 to 4 months. Of course, that would be stupid, and I'm pretty sure the courts and the prosecution would never allow that to happen. But I'm assuming right now that the reason why he's trying to postpone as much as he can between 3 to 4 months is because there's possibility that the general election will be happening this year, possibly in November, which is within the time frame, it seems. And when that happens, in the event that BN wins and UMNO wins, which is a party that Najib is deeply embroiled in, and with a lot of people in there having a lot of corruption cases going on. If they end up in power, you can bet your ass that a lot of these corruption cases will suddenly be overthrown for some reason on a basis of weirdness. There's gonna be some weird things going on if they win, like the BN and the UMNO team wins, and then those people are in power. The people who are currently in a lot of corruption cases are in power, and then woof, magic, all of this corruption cases will get overthrown, and that's why I think Najib is trying to do so he can buy enough time until that they reach that point. And it seems like they have strong belief that they might win the election if it happens this year, which I don't know if that's gonna be the case because it's gonna be some issue if that happens. I do believe that BN has a good chance of winning if they are able to still maintain public opinion on the fact that opposition has failed miserably on achieving the promises that was made during the time where the opposition was in power. But again, with the current scandal cases and corruption cases coming up, it's bringing down the UMNO and BN's appeal as well, because when people find out that money that could have been used towards the people was being used in corruption again, well, that's not a good look for the team, for UMNO and BN. So possibly they want to get the election done as soon as possible so they can win and then have these cases thrown out as soon as they can. But Chief Justice Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat then said the panel will deliberate the lawyer's request. The hearing had been adjourned to later this afternoon when the panel is expected to announce its decision. Former Prime Minister Najib was previously represented by law firm Shafi and Co., with Shafi Abdullah acting as lead counsel. In May, the federal court notified parties that the appeal was fixed for hearing for 10 days between August 15 and 26. On July 26, law firm Zaid Ibrahim Sufyan TH Liu and partners notified the Apex Court of its appointment as solicitors and that of Hisham Teh as lead counsel. The firm immediately requested a postponement of the hearing, which was rejected by the court. At case management on July 29, the court told both the prosecution and defense team that the appeal will proceed as scheduled, but will be preceded by the motions filed by Najib, which were disposed of yesterday and today. In July 2020, Najib was convicted on 7 charges of abuse of power, money laundering, and criminal breach of trust over SRC funds amounting to RM42 million. His conviction was upheld by the Court of Appeal on December 8 last year. The appellate court also upheld Najib's 12-year sentence and 210 million ringgit fine. However, Najib was released on bail pending his final appeal before the federal court. Now, you would think that this will be the end of the story, but no. Apparently, when the federal court came back with the decision to deny the postponement for Najib's case. So federal court denies Najib bid to postpone case. Smack! Another smack to my man Jibby. Getting smacked again by the courts. The federal court has denied Najib Razak bid to postpone his SRC International appeal with Chief Justice Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat, stating that the appeal must proceed as scheduled. We will start the appeal hearing on Thursday. I'm so pumped for this. Like, he's trying every tactic in the book to just like get as much as in as possible. Thankfully, the courts and the prosecution know better to like not be funny with the results today. Because like if they say like, oh yeah, we will postpone, people's not gonna like that. The people are not gonna like that. Because like now that the LCS ship corruption is still in top of mind for a lot of people, the fact that if the court granted the postponement, that would not be a good look towards the people. So thankfully, they decided to reject this postponement and speed up and well, not speed up, but like go through with the entire case for Najib Raja trial on SRC International, and the fact that Mans took the money and then and siphoned the money and is getting his ass bit back for doing so. Earlier today, lead counsel Hisham Teh Potai Take requested a postponement of up to 3 to 4 months, as he said that the defense needed more time to prepare for the case, which it took over less than a month ago. The court previously fixed 10 days, August 15, 26, to hear the former Prime Minister's final appeal to quash his conviction of abuse of power, money laundering, and criminal breach of trust over SRC funds amounting to 42 million. His conviction was upheld by the Court of Appeal on December 8 last year, as was his 12-year jail sentence and 210 million ringgit fine. However, Najib was released on bail pending his final appeal before the federal court. Rejecting the defense request for postponement, Tengku Maimun said all parties in the case, including Najib and the accused person, were all aware since April that the appeals had been fixed from hearing from August 15 to 26, and that the request for an adjournment on the same ground had been refused by the court register during the pretrial case management. The appellant Najib having been well aware of the dates fixed for hearing, elected to discharge his former solicitor Shafi and Co. and appoint Zaid Ibrahim Sufyan TH Liu and partners and Haji Hisham Teh as his solicitors and lead counsels respectively. She said, "This is his right to do so, but he cannot, after having made that decision, turn around and say that his new lawyers are not ready to proceed with the hearing of the appeals." Oh shit! Oh shit! My man tried to like do the slip, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't get the slip. And instead, he got a bitch slap. The new lawyers, who having accepted the brief, are now entitled to say they need more time to prepare, knowing fully well that the dates had been fixed well in advance, the Chief Justice added. Oh, sheesh. Tengku Maimun said Najib is entitled to his choice of lawyers, but he is not entitled to make the choice at the expense of the court, the prosecution, or the entire justice system. Further, the time taken on this case, especially the number of days fixed for hearing, means many other criminal cases an accused person have had to wait their turn for the courts to be appealed. Oh shit, she's just like Oh my god, the man's dead and she's still like stabbing him. Oh god, justice delayed in this case is also justice denied to other accused persons, she added. Other judges who sat with Tengku Maimun, a chief judge of Sabah Sarawak. Oh my god. Damn. That was a smackdown just now. Oh my god. Oh my god. GB. Oh. Ooh, this backfired badly for him. Oh my god. I mean, I hope my wish towards all this is that he gets his just this he get what his just reward is, which is going to jail and being locked up and then having all of his asset taken and redistributed to the people. I mean, the first part is most likely that the fact that he goes to jail, but what kind of jail? That's debatable. The fact maybe his ass is getting taken, that's less likely. I don't think I don't think we'll ever see the money back again, because like we still haven't gotten J Lo, not the amazing artist J Lo, Jennifer Lopez. I'm talking J Lo, Joe Lo, his accomplice allegedly on the entire 1MDB scandal, with billions taken out of the country and never seen again. But yeah, this is a step on the right direction. It's a dub. It's a dub for the people right now. That my man won't get his day. Won't get another a chance to escape a day in court, or find a way to try to weasel out of it. So yeah, I'm hoping, man. Fingers crossed. He get the full extent of the law and get his ass thrown in jail like pronto, right before general election. And then when general election comes around, my biggest hope is that BN and AMNO doesn't win, and then they get their ass whooped, and all the people in there as well get their asses whooped.